Straight ahead on 12 News Weekend. Employees on the move.
This is just to add a little bit more movement into your day.
How a local hospital lets office workers walk while they work. Then, this cold spring has been a slap in the face to gardeners. But see how a new law helps green thumbs cope with the cold. But first, a building boom that's focused on your health. 12 News Weekend starts right now. Take a look around the northwest suburbs and you'll see new healthcare clinics dotting the landscape.
The building boom is filling what healthcare providers say is an immediate need. The latest to open is North Memorial's new primary care clinic in Plymouth. And this new clinic will have plenty of company.
We're gonna go right in there. Okay.
Well, we're very excited about this.
The weather may have been dreary, but North Memorial employees had reason to rejoice as this new clinic along Vicksburg Lane officially opened for business.
We do see this as an area that needs good quality care and access to care, and so we've built it to accommodate a number of patients and having providers that will be available to take new patients.
North Memorial's new Plymouth City Center is nearly 9,300 square feet in size and includes 15 exam rooms, a lab, and an x-ray room.
We just think there's a real need in this immediate area.
Clinic staff members like Adelia Sims expect to serve a broad range of people.
We'll have 4 to 5 primary care providers on board. We'll have specialists. We just think there's a real need in this immediate area with families and the different population bases.
For those population bases, Plymouth City Center becomes yet another destination in an area with no shortage of healthcare options. In January, Allina Health celebrated the completion of the new Abbott Northwestern West Health Emergency Department. And last month, the city of Plymouth met with officials from Park Nicollet about a proposed clinic that would go up near Highway 55 and County Road 101.
It's a big population center, and so I think, there are a lot of people needing care.
However, talk to North Memorial employees, and there's no concern about saturation.
There's always been a need in the communities for primary care.
In fact, she says there's something they offer patients that other healthcare providers don't.
What they find is a sense of family as opposed to maybe a corporate feel or a big business feel.
She says that sense of community will be the big draw and keep doctors busy.
We planned for a busy day, and we're happy that patients have found us here.
Hennepin County Medical Center also plans to open a satellite clinic in Golden Valley. It will open in the Springgate Shopping Center where Byerly's is located.
Brooklyn Park is taking a closer look at how it communicates with residents, particularly when it comes to crime. Council members say crime remains the #1 issue in the city. So now they're exploring whether to start a public safety advisory commission. It would work to identify public safety issues the city should address, but there are questions whether another committee is the answer and whether the commission would be permanent or fill a short-term need.
Narrow mission, focused, appointments by the city council, sunset, 1 year. I'd look at something like that.
If you don't feel safe in your home, in your neighborhood, and you don't feel like you're getting information, and you don't feel connected to your community, and now you're looking for a home elsewhere, we need to do something about that.
The city manager and police department will discuss options and report back to the council in a future meeting. Our weekend review takes us to the state capitol.
That includes a local senator calling House inaction on gun control legislation unacceptable. Senator Ron Latz says he's extraordinarily disappointed and befuddled with the House's move to abandon a vote on a gun bill. Latz was the main sponsor of a gun bill in the Senate.
In the Senate, I think we have the votes to pass a meaningful background check expansion to include all private sales, going through licensed dealers. I think we've got the votes here. It's the House members that seem to be more skittish and more susceptible to pressure from the most vocal, the most vociferous of their constituents.
Latz hopes other provisions will still have a chance this session, such as giving prosecutors stronger tools to go after people who buy guns for criminals.
Now to a couple of items that are moving forward. For the first time since 2005, Minnesota could see a hike in the minimum wage. On Friday, the House approved a bill that would raise the minimum wage to $9.50 per hour by 2015. The vote was 68 to 62. Some argue the bill will cost jobs. Author Ryan Winkler of Golden Valley responds to those critics, saying increasing the minimum wage will help the economy by putting more money in the pockets of low-wage workers.
The last minimum wage increase in Minnesota was a result of federal action signed by George Bush. The previous action in Minnesota was signed into law by Governor Pawlenty, and the one before that was by Arnie Carlson. If this is such an anti-business bill, I don't know why those Republican governors would have signed it.
In the Senate, a second vote allowed a tax bill to move forward. Senator John Hoffman, who represents northern Brooklyn Park, was one of the legislators that changed his mind. While the bill lowers the sales tax rate, it expands the tax to include items like clothing. It would also increase taxes on married filers who make more than $140,000 a year. A new state law is making it easier for gardeners to determine whether a plant or tree is hardy enough for Minnesota.
It's especially relevant given our cold spring. Sonia Goins goes in the garden to explain how the law works.
Nothing like a little snow in May. We never know when the weather is going to turn in Minnesota. That's why plants have to be hardy to stand up to our sometimes wicked weather.
In Minnesota, people are wanting things that they can't really grow here.
Under a new state law, plants, shrubs, and trees will have labels that will tell Minnesota consumers if they're tough enough.
This was one that, for example, that it's not hardy here.
The labels are based on zones and temperature climates. This map from the U.S. Department of Agriculture shows the zones.
3 to 9, so that means it's very hardy.
The lower the zone, the colder the temperature. Most of the Northwest Metro is in Zone 4.
Minus 40 would be a Zone 3. Minus 20 would be a Zone 4. And then if you go where it doesn't say any minus on there, then you have to watch it because then that means it's not hardy in Minnesota.
If it doesn't say hardy on the label, you might want to pick another plant if you want it to stick around for several seasons. And if you do pick pretty over hardiness, you're going to want to protect it in the winter.
I would stay away from the ones that are Zone 6. Unless you want to cover them up.
Besides checking the label, you should ask the nursery where the plant originated from. Plants grown in warmer climates like California might not grow well here, even if the label says it can, because the plant is used to warmer temperatures.
Because it's grown in California and it's all leafed out, people like it, and they come to a nursery thinking that it's something that, oh, I can grow this because it's green and I'm getting it at a nursery, so that must make it hardy.
In Maple Grove, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
For more information on the new labels, go to our website at 12.tv. Well, coming up on 12 News Weekend, she showed up for work in sickness and health and didn't get paid for any of it. Meet this outstanding New Hope volunteer when we return.
And later in sports, Cooper's baseball team is playing well early this season.
But first, it's your AccuWeather forecast. You're watching 12 News, a service of Northwest Community Television.
For more than a decade, she's shown up for her shift like clockwork, but she hasn't collected a dime.
Renee Bonneau introduces us to a volunteer at ARC's Value Village in New Hope who is getting a much-deserved honor for her dedication.
On any given Wednesday afternoon,
here we go.
Buzzing around ARC's Value Village in New Hope is Leslie Ostrom.
She will unpack, she will tag, she will sort. She'll be on the sales floor. She'll do whatever we need her to do.
Like these are women's tops, and then you try to sort them according to size and color too.
Leslie began volunteering here in 2001 because she was impressed with the mission of the ARC Greater Twin Cities.
Promotes and protects the rights of individuals that are developmentally and intellectually disabled. So I just honor those rights.
And she has honored her commitment. Even when her husband developed Alzheimer's 3 years ago, she continued to come on a weekly basis.
She kept her commitment despite having these personal things going on in her life and dealing with her husband's illness. And so that just shows her dedication through and through.
The staff and the volunteers here have been very supportive.
Leslie says coming here actually gave her comfort during that difficult time.
During his illness, and then he did pass away last December.
Over the past 12 years, Leslie has donated about 1,700 volunteer hours.
Consistency is what's really, really needed for us because those donations never stop.
The ARC is honoring Leslie as its Value Village Volunteer of the Year.
Oh, boy.
Leslie says she doesn't show up each week for the accolades. She's here because it's the right thing to do.
I think any of us that are fortunate enough to have friends and family and income, I think it's important to give to others.
In New Hope, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
In addition to donating her time, Leslie is also known for the baked goods she brings for volunteers and staff every week. Now, do you get enough exercise at work? We'll see what one company is doing to get people moving at their desks.
And then it's a great group of female student athletes at the annual Athena Awards. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox.
It is a bigger target. You know, you definitely still can miss them, like so, but...
Struggling with your golf game? Brooklyn Park's 9-hole course is trying to soothe frustrations. It now has what it calls Golf 2.0. For every hole, there is shorter distances and bigger targets with cups twice as big as regulation size. It's the first course in the country to try the new system full time. Now, Jay Wilcox joins us with sports. Jay, what's going on?
Talking about some great student athletes.
Yeah, what a great day. I mean, to listen to the accomplishments that a lot of these girls have at the Athena Awards is just amazing. I mean, just in every sport, in the classroom, and just a lot of things going on for them. For many of the girls at the Athena Awards, it's their final accomplishment as a high school athlete. The awards started the year after Title IX legislation passed in 1972. 52 Minneapolis area high school senior girls added Athena Award winner to their resume on Friday. Each school selects one girl because of their excellence in either individual or team sports. We talked to a handful of local Athena winners about the recognition.
I didn't know a lot of new faces. A lot of the faces were new, so sitting and eating lunch today was a lot of fun. I learned that there's a lot of schools that have badminton teams, which is really exciting because we don't have a badminton team. So it's been fun to know other girls.
It's really exciting. It's a great honor to be here and to just see all these other athletes who have accomplished so much.
When you're on a stage or somewhere, like, it's a different vibe because you're there to compete, but now that we're here, it's just having fun and seeing what everybody's future, what's coming next for them. It's really great.
And here now is a look at all of the local Athena winners. Well, they're far from caught up after a series of weather postponements, but local softball teams did get some games in this week. The Champlain Park Rebels visiting Osseo early in the week. Scoreless into the 5th inning when Osseo's Courtney Calkins smashes a double down the third base line. Haley Swanson is in to score, and the Orioles go up 1-0. In the 6th, a golf shot by Emma Lehman on the low pitch. She drives it to the fence out and left. Maggie Craig is in to score, and the game is even at 1-1 through 6 with more fireworks to come for the Rebels. In the 7th, Haley Adair slap hitting delivers a base hit up the middle. Abby Nettermeyer scores, and Courtney Potter decides to come home too. And she'll just beat the tag at the plate on this play. 3-1 Rebels. After scoring another run to make it 4-1, Sophie Johnson singles to center to score Craig. The Rebels get 5 runs in the 7th as they pull away to beat Osseo 6-1. In baseball, Cooper has a young team this season, but it's so far so good for the Hawks. The Hawks ready to swing into action against Columbia Heights this week. Cooper gets to Highlanders starter Bob Maruska in the 2nd. Spud Rainier drops a base hit into center field. Jacob Lindgren comes around to score the game's first run. The single from Rainier is the start of a nice inning for Cooper. Logan Olson has a solid game. He steps up and drives this one to the gap in left center field. It comes with the bases loaded. Rainier scores, Nate Heilman scores, and Philip Howard comes around too on a triple for Olson. It's 5-0 Hawks. They get 7 total in the 2nd. They add 6 more in the 3rd, capped off by this long sacrifice fly by Lindgren. It's deep enough to score Adam Brady, and they take advantage of a tough inning in the field for Heights to make it 13-0 Cooper. Cooper goes on to rout Columbia Heights 15-4 in 5. And former Twins pitcher Kevin Tapany is the new head coach for Providence Academy this season. They face Brooklyn Center, and his son Ryan is a talented player. Tapany gets the strikeout here as he throws 3 hitless innings to start the game. The Lions are up 2-0 in the 4th when Michael Villafana bloops a well-placed hit down the line in right. Nick Pruden scores, and Jack McGinty also heads home for Providence, and they go up by a 4-0 count. Still in that fourth inning, and Michael Cassette's high fly ball is lost in the sun. Everybody who's played baseball or softball probably had this happen a time or two. Look out, Micah Ehlers can't find it. Rob Sobosensky scores on what turns into a triple for Cassette. It's 7-0 Providence. Little defense for them as well. Watch catcher Villafana locate the foul pop-up. He makes a nice sliding catch. 2 outs in the 7th inning. Brooklyn Center avoids being no-hit as Dylan Gibson comes through with a single to right off of reliever Jesse Barron, but Brooklyn Center falls 11-0 to Providence. And an interesting day that day. Almost a no-hitter, and then they come through with a couple of hits at the end, but Providence, pretty good team.
Got one in. Good they're finally getting to get some games in.
That's the best part of all, is no matter who wins or loses.
That's right. All right, thanks, Jay.
You bet.
Well, up next, how many steps do you take in a day?
See what people are doing at work to increase the number of steps they take. That story is after the break. One of the biggest excuses people make for not exercising is they just don't have enough time.
This weekend, we show you how one local hospital has made efforts to help its employees eliminate that excuse. An on-site workout facility is one of the perks offered to North Memorial employees.
We're open 24/7, and it's open access. You know, we do personal training down here.
Yet even with a gym readily available to the staff, making it in here is still easier said than done.
You know, a lot of people have busy schedules, before work, after work, picking up kids.
In Julie Lother's mind, a little movement is better than no movement at all, which is why she has some North Memorial employees testing out tread desks.
Well, I try and use it 2 to 3 times a week.
Lisa Minshall of the HR department is one of the guinea pigs.
I just felt it was something that I wanted to try.
She has to spend most of her workday in front of a computer. But now, several times a week, Lisa goes to this tread desk in her office and spends up to 90 minutes moving her body at a pace of about 2 miles an hour while working at the same time.
Once you get the feel for moving your hands and walking on this tread desk, it's easier to multitask and you're not consciously thinking about your feet moving. You're focused on your work.
However, Lother stresses that the activity on a tread desk should not take the place of a full workout.
This is just to add a little bit more movement into your day. Yep, we still consider, you know, we want them to come down and work out in our fitness center.
Lother hopes the tread desks act as a motivational tool to bring more people down to the fitness center.
Yeah, it's working great. Yeah, they love it.
Well, North Memorial currently has 4 tread desks, but they say its pilot program has been so successful that more are on the way. So what do you guys think if we had one of those at the station? Is that something that we need here?
I think it would take a little bit of coordination there. I'm not
yeah,
sure if I can pull
it
it
off.
off.
It's like the old walking and chewing gum at the same time thing. You have to get used to it a little
Walk,
bit.
type, answer phones. We'll see. That's all the news we have for now. We'll see you on Monday.